Okay, so here's something wild. Have you ever been scrolling through your feed and seen an ad or a video suggestion that's so specific, so perfectly tailored to your current mood that it feels less like a recommendation and more like a ghost reading your thoughts? It's eerie, right? But here's the thing, that isn't a connection with technology. That's a capture. We've entered this weird era where our personalities feel like solved puzzles. We should have a perfectly curated bio, a personal brand that summarizes our entire existence in 3 emojis and a punchy sentence. But doesn't that feel, I don't know, suffocating? Like you're being compressed into a file format that's easy for an AI to read? If a machine can predict your next favorite song or your next political outrage, do you actually have a soul? Or just a history of data points? We've become user-friendly versions of ourselves, and honestly, it's exhausting. Does this resonate with you? Or am I just overthinking my screen time stats? Because it feels like the more we're understood by the world, the more we lose the weird, messy parts of ourselves that actually matter. This is where we need to talk about Édouard Glissant. He was a philosopher from Martinique who saw this coming decades ago. Even though he was looking at it through the lens of culture and colonialism, he talked about something called the right to opacity. Now, when we hear the word opaque, we usually think of something dark or muddy, right? Like a window you can't see through. But Glissant saw opacity as a force field. He argued that the Western world has this obsession with understanding everything, with shining a bright clinical light on every culture and every person until there are no secrets left. But for Glissant to be understood by a dominant system is to be reduced, categorized, and eventually consumed. Think of your soul like a shadow DOM in web development. It's the internal code that powers your interface, but it's strictly hidden from the public API and the scraper bots. Glissant's big idea was that we don't need to be transparent to relate to each other. We can be a forest. A jungle is opaque, it's dense, it's messy, and it's full of life that refuses to be mapped by a satellite. That complexity isn't a bug, it's the only thing that keeps the system from owning you. Now hold on, because this is the part that actually made me stop and reread the book 3 times. Let's look at the word understand. In French, the word is comprendre. If you break it down to its Latin roots, comprehendere, it literally means to grasp or to take together. To seize, when you say, I understand you, you're essentially saying, I have grasped you, I have captured you in my mind. It's a violent act hidden in a nice word. Every time you feel that pressure to explain yourself, to justify your vibe, or to be authentic on a Zoom icebreaker, you're handing over the keys to your own cage. The philosopher Byung-Chul calls this the transparency trap. He says that in a society where everything is transparent, there's no room for the other as a secret. We become data points in a neoliberal diktat. You feel lonely because you've become too easy to summarize. You've become a data set that's been solved. Pause for 5 seconds. Just think about that for a second. The most freeing thing you can be isn't seen, it's being a mystery, even to the people closest to you. Because if you can't be grasped, you can't be controlled. So how do we become user-unfriendly? It starts with small acts of digital sabotage. I call it the saboteur's handbook. First, the 24-hour embargo. When you have a deep thought or see a sunset that moves you, wait exactly 1 day before posting it. Own that moment for yourself first. Keep it opaque. Don't let the data scrapers have it while it's still warm. Second, algorithmic noise. Because every once in a while, deliberately click on something that doesn't fit your profile. Jam the gears, make the AI think you've lost your mind. It breaks the predictive mirror they've built around you. And third, embrace the sacred nonsense. When someone asks you about your brand or your personal mission statement, give them a poetic, nonsense answer. Refuse the category. You're allowed to be a walking contradiction. You're allowed to have hobbies that don't make sense together. These aren't just life hacks. They're tactical interventions to protect the soil where original thoughts actually grow. It's about reclaiming the luxury of being untrackable. Here's my final takeaway. Stop trying to be user-friendly. In a world of total surveillance, being incomprehensible is the ultimate flex. In 2026, the most expensive and radical thing you can be is unsearchable. We spend so much time trying to be seen that we forget that the most beautiful parts of being human are the parts that can't be rendered in a 4K video or analyzed by a large language model. Reclaim your right to be a mystery. Protect your opacity like it's the most valuable thing you own, because it is. It's the foundation of your liberty. So, I'm curious, what's the one thing about you, or one memory you have, that no algorithm will ever be allowed to know? What's the secret you're keeping for yourself? I'd love to hear your thoughts, or better yet, keep them to yourself and just enjoy the mystery.